J.J. Lee is a fashionable fashion columnist who knows how to pick the trendy and traditional socks, ties, shoes, scarves, and suits. Recently, he wrote a personal story about his father and a suit. It is called The Measure of a Man. It is my pleasure to welcome J.J. Lee back to Studio 4 to tell us more. And I so enjoyed The Measure of a Man, as you know, even though I am a woman.
Oh, thank you, Fanny.
So you said in here, and I think you said before, that you're really a jeans and t-shirt guy.
I am. My hero is like Bruce Springsteen. I like to get a little. I had bike grease on my hands yesterday, and I was like, oh no, it's hard to get off. So I actually had to do all the dishes, do dishes twice last night.
You did.
Just to
so
get
that
it
you
off.
looked all
That's
spiffy.
Right. That's right.
So essentially, in a man's closet,
Yes.
first and foremost, the suit. What
Yeah.
color? What kind?
You know, a lot of people push black because it's a hip color. It's a color of severity, right? And it's a very artistic color. It's like, you know, a very bohemian person like yourself wears black.
Yeah.
But I like a bit of movement. I like to be able to go to different environments, and I always encourage blue. So you're probably gonna, if a young man walks into a store and, you know, it says, I need a first suit, they're probably going to push you to black because that's the tendency. I go against the current. I think the blue suit is the most versatile suit. And I'm talking the darkest navy blue you can find.
Okay, so that French blue, that lovely French blue, almost black, but
yeah, I use it on the cover of my book. You know, it's that dark blue, you know?
Yeah, and stripes, no stripes, plain?
For a first suit, I'm more of a plain suit. And the reason why is because then it becomes, you're able to discover and create different looks with it. It's more versatile. You can have it with striped shirts, and you don't get that stripe on stripe action, which I warn people against. And I think that's the way to go. A dark blue suit should be your first suit, and it should be the bedrock of rebuilding a wardrobe, let's say.
Okay, and if you don't have a huge budget, the shirt, the collar, button down, big, small, what?
Well, it's really based on the shape of your face. Everyone thinks that, the fashion is that spread collar right now that you saw on Tony Blair when he was in Parliament, right? And it's a broad cut, and you tend to see thick ties. The Minister of Defense, Peter MacKay, wears a spread collar, but with a very large knot, and it only suits, even though it's fashionable, it only suits certain face types. I suggest if you're narrow-faced, then you go for a spread collar. It's always a compensatory act. The wider your face, the more narrow the spread.
Okay.
Right? So you can have a wide spread, a medium spread, and then you can have a pointed collar. So Obama's there, and he's got the medium spread. Actually, he could do the Tony Blair route, but maybe he doesn't want to.
Maybe he doesn't want to.
It's a bit too plutocratic. It looks a bit too swinging
Perhaps.
sometimes. Yeah.
But it's in.
It is
the point.
in.
If you, no matter if it's wide or narrow, it's in.
Yeah, so your face, I personally think the biggest upgrade that you can do if you're a shirt wearer and a tie wearer is to make sure that your collar type is correct with your face type. So once again, the narrow face can go for the wider spread. The broader the face, I feel I have a broad face, I like a medium to pointed collar because that chisels away the weight.
And a hot tie, of course.
Yeah, a great tie. And everyone thinks all knots are made equal. Once again, when you do it, so I'm using what I call a Milanese. It's multiple. It's not a four-in-hand. It's actually wrapped 3 or 4 times, and it's to create a longer tube. Once again, I'm trying to elongate my face, so I create a longer tube to sort of compensate. I feel I have wide jowls, like they're actually wider than if you ever measured it. It would,
Okay, get Dr. Braun in.
I got a big jaw. Yeah,
we might be able to change that.
Yeah, so learn the knot, find the knot that suits you. Narrow-faced man can wear the half Windsor or a full Windsor.
I see, but that's called a what? A Milanese?
I call it the Milanese. Some people call it the Albert. It depends how you pat. It's a four-in-hand, so you wrap, but I do it 3 or 4 times.
Okay,
so
and
it's wrapped multiple times.
Stripes, horses, stars.
Oh, striped ties are great for the person who feels they have a heavy jaw because once again, the diagonals on the tie chisel away at the weight that can gather here. So you can do it the way Dr. Braun does it, or you can do it with it. It might be a bit cheaper.
And if the stripes go right or left, doesn't matter. One's an English tie.
I tend to forget, but yes, I don't wear striped ties in England or the UK because you may be affiliate. It may say that you're affiliated to a regiment or a particular club or school, and so I stick to Paisley. When I'm in England.
Stick to Paisley. Yeah. Military in this year, out this year, what?
The military look is very big. You're seeing it everywhere. We've seen it. It's been 2 years in a row now. We see a lot of field jackets. We see a lot of bombers or aviator coats. The big thing about it is everyone loves it, and I love the look too. But you should be careful with field jacket because you have those ammo pockets that are on the side.
Right.
And you always have to be aware the scale. If you're a small man like myself, you can't have big pockets. It actually adds weight. It look kind of ridiculous.
Sure.
Makes you look smaller than you actually.
And you haven't just come back from the war.
No, I mean everyone wants to affect that, of course. I had a dream last night that I was a veteran of the Gulf War. I don't know why.
You did?
I don't know. It was a very strange. Maybe it was the military trend that was in my head.
Perhaps.
But yes, you should watch the scale of your epaulets, those little flaps that go on your shoulders. All those detailings that we love in military clothes should be scaled properly for your body.
And I know you're a bit of a traditionalist, so a heritage look or what?
Yeah, the heritage look is about that stability. We're talking like sweaters, sports coats, just that warm look. I mean, you got the button down in that particular picture, the glasses. It's sort of like NASA Houston controlled 1965 kind of glasses. But it's just, I think what's happening with the mood of the economy is people are looking for more stable paternal figures, and so the fashion's sort of moving in that direction to help support that.
It's classic, it's high style, it will go anywhere, anytime.
And I think people want that mobility. People don't know what's around the corner anymore. So when you buy a wardrobe that can bring you into the boardroom or a job application, anything, I think it's just that people are looking to be ready for anything.
Got it. As a female, I love men who wear wild socks.
Yes.
Gorgeous socks, like colored socks and interesting socks. Not necessarily argyle, but Missoni, something like that. Are they in, they out? Should they come to the knee?
They are so cool. They are so cool because I think we are sobering the upper body now. We're wearing more conservative. We're looking, like just narrow, straight, fitted. The celebration can happen in the sock. And also, I really, like this is an argyle here, and you can have those brilliant striped socks, which I really love, like really bright striped socks can enliven a look. And that whole idea of the sock being invisible or not part of, like, I want a black sock so you see nothing, it actually makes you look heavier. It makes your foot look heavier. It makes your shoe look heavier.
My dad would only wear short socks, and he'd cross his legs, and you see his little hairy leg come out.
Right.
And you go, Dad, you have to get those knee socks. You just have to do that one day.
I love knee socks.
Like, take a big leap.
That's right.
Dress boots, lace-up shoes, patent shoes, what's in?
I would say they are in, but on a practical level, if you travel a lot and you're wearing suits, a dress boot is a great thing to pick because you go to a city, it's raining or it's snowing, it's slushing. It gives you an option, a bit more protection around your foot. You can have it properly treated and you just feel a bit more secure. You always have to pick your shoe, a medium welt, not a low welt, not that really slim Italian welt, that very low-soled shoe, but a bit more structure to your boot. A great way to travel.
So a little height, not too much.
Yeah, a little bit of height, but it's a great way to travel with a boot like that.
And with squared off toe, pointy toe.
Please, if you're gonna buy a shoe, do not get the squared off toe. That's a comfort shoe strategy. They offer you the square toe because no one's ever gonna say a square toe loafer does not fit because there's tons of room in it. It makes you look heavier, it makes your legs look heavier, it blunts the angles that you're trying to produce, those manly angles that you're trying to produce in a body. It's just, I really, really do not, even the chisel toe, it's still very contemporary, the chisel toe. It's still modern, it's still a trend. But I think like the proper pointed shoe is the way to go if you want to last.
Are you talking cowboy pointed or?
No, you can do that. I'm tempted to go cowboy pointed, but I'm talking about like a traditional, Oxford pointed,
like
or
a brogue?
cap toe, like a brogue and an Oxford, the ones that you would find at Harry Rosen or Holt Renfrew, just a traditional pointed shoe, because that'll last you your whole life.
And if you're wearing the navy suit, can you wear a brown shoe, or do you have to wear a black shoe?
You have to wear a brown shoe. Especially
you do.
The brown shoe is such a beautiful shoe. It reflects the blue. It actually does things to the suit. I'm guilty of staring at my brown shoes sometimes because they actually change with the mood and the weathering and the patina. It's a really lovely. Brown shoes is the way to go. If you're going to go, the brown shoe is the single best upgrade for your wardrobe.
I didn't know. I've given this bad advice all these years. So you have to have a black shoe.
Oh, you have to have a black
navy
shoe.
suit.
But the upgrade, though.
But the upgrade is the brown gives it some edge, all of that.
That's right. It's a very Boston brown
And men
look.
in scarves, very cool.
Yes, it is.
Love men in scarves.
I mean, there's a bit of pushback on the scarf look right now, but there's Jude Law in his scarf. But the great thing is, I think the scarf is perfect for Vancouver and the West Coast because sweaters and the hauling off and putting on a sweaters can, the temperature changes so quickly. You get on a train and all of a sudden it's warm.
Sure.
I think the scarf is it's sort of like a mini sweater. You can just take it off so quickly and put it on when you need it.
Exactly, and personality in a scarf.
Yes,
again, like a tie, lots of personality. A pullover sweater, turtleneck, round neck, V-neck.
Well, the shawl collar is huge right now in the sweater, and big, thick cabling, chunky looks is really in right now, and I love that. And then that has to do with that whole fisherman or paternal or patriarchal models, like that sort of sturdy man in our culture. And so you see a shawl collar, Henley with the 2 buttons on the top. there. And that's like that idea of the fisherman, the stable guy, the guy who knows what his place in the world.
And,
I think
he's
that's
good
great.
on the orange pants. And that takes some edge, doesn't it? It's much like your puff. What's in your pocket?
That's actually, this is my little secret, is that instead of wearing a silk pocket square, I wear a drawing. Done by my son every morning.
One of the
when
twins?
I come on, yeah. So Emmett made this one for me. This is actually based on Kirby, which is a video game.
Wow.
So this is a Kirby Galaxy, he calls
Emmett's
it.
good.
And he is quite the artist.
Yeah.
And so on television, it looks like a pocket square, right?
Of course it
now
does.
I'm out
couldn't
it.
even
It's actually
tell.
made out of paper.
But, no, you see, but it didn't cost much.
No, and it looks
Just
beautiful.
a little time.
And it's my little boy with me.
Yeah.
Over my heart.
How lovely.
Yeah.
How nice to see you.
Thank you, Fanny.
I'm going to reread The Measure of a Man just because you're here. The story of a father, a son in a suit. It's a great memoir.
Thank you.
Truly is. J.J. Lee.